All right, y'all, this is going to be part 3 of Market Cipher 103, and today we're going to be talking more about scalping with Market Cipher. And when I say scalping, I mean trades that may not last more than an hour or two. For me, I'm really not a scalper. I'm not taking my profits in a minute or two. Okay? Sometimes I do. It's not too common with me. I prefer longer trades. That's my style. But scalping is absolutely very possible. And this strategy, you will find that although you might not see the trade setups happening very often, you might still find that they're extremely profitable. So what you want to do is, of course, you still want to have your levels marked out on the chart, okay? So, you still want to have your daily levels, you still want to have your weekly levels, and all this kind of stuff, okay? And what I recommend you do is start on like a 1 hour time frame and just kind of assess the environment, okay? Assess the environment. If money flow is coming down, if our direction is coming down, you might want to prioritize the shorts. But because we're on a lower time frame, it doesn't really matter as much. You just want to be aware that in general we've been coming down since up here, right? In general, we've been coming down since up there. And let me just take a look at something here. Because it's very possible. Okay. I'm actually waiting for price to come down to this fib level for a potential bounce right now, because you can even see that there's like the bullish divergence forming on the 1 hour, and this is a fib support. So if price does come down there, I will really be looking. We have the divergence in the VWAP, divergence in the momentum waves. I'm looking for price to just drop a little bit more. I wonder if it'll happen during this session, because that would be pretty interesting, right? Literally a live example. Although maybe this is our bounce we're getting now. But okay, I digress. So you're going to come to your chart. You're looking to do this on a smaller term time frame. And you could do it on the 3 minute. You could do it on the 6 minute. What you're going to do is you're just going to open up a chunk of price action. Maybe go back a little bit and just by hand draw lines of support and resistance, right? By hand draw lines of support and resistance. So, it becomes pretty clear that we have one right here. It becomes pretty clear that we have one right here. And the reason I say that is because we just see these levels respected, right? We see this level acting as support here, acting as support here, acting as resistance here, right? So we're just going to mark levels that we see as support and resistance. I would say, this right here, this level right here is a good level because we see it acting as our support, and then it gets flipped to resistance. Then we see it as resistance that can't hold. We see it flipped into support. We see it flipped into resistance, resistance, okay? So now, what are we going to do? We are going to see and wait for price to come to this level of resistance, and we're going to also wait and see a divergence on Market Cipher B. Now this is the 3 minutes, so if you see something like this right here, where price prints a higher high, and then momentum gives you a lower high, and also over time you see that the money flow is coming down. You guys see this? How from back here, money flow has gone down while price has continued to come up like this, and the VWAP is diverging where the VWAP is coming down as price is going up. Again, we have 3 divergences right here. We have a momentum wave divergence, we have a money flow divergence, and we have a VWAP divergence as we're coming up to a resistance that we drew by hand on the 3 minute time frame, coming all the way back to earlier today at 2 in the morning. It's currently 3 in the afternoon. So a little over 12 hours ago, we established this level of resistance. We're coming up to it on, we're coming up to it right here just a few hours ago, and we reject off of it with a strong reaction. When you see this happening, this is where you enter your short position. You enter on the rejection. You set your stop loss above the last high, okay? Now, this is important, and we're going to get more into this in risk management. I'll show you how to set your take profits in a second. But really, right here, okay, because you have such a clear place to put your stop loss above that last swing high, you can risk 0.25%, okay, 0.25%. Now, a lot of people know, for beginners, I don't recommend risking more than 1% of your account per trade. Because we're risking 0.25%, that means you can 4x leverage 100% of your account and still be practicing good risk management, okay? I hope that makes sense. Because I recommend only risking 1% of your trading account. Because we're only risking 0.25%, we could put 100% of our account onto this trade with 4x leverage and still only be risking 1% of our capital. This is called a good entry. Now, how do we set our take profits? Well, we would obviously use levels of support and resistance, and the first level of support is this daily level that we already had marked on our chart. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to go back in time and see other areas that price tended to respect. So I can clearly see this level right here because it was support once, support twice, support 3 times, support 4 times, and then we fell through it. It was resistance. We got rejected off of it. It got acted as support again, support again, support again, support again, support again. And so it's no surprise that as we're coming down, we come down and we get a retest of this level, showing that it's a level that's respected by the price. So these would be our 2 take profits. Where would our 3rd take profit be? Well, I would set my 3rd take profit right here. I would set my 3rd take profit right here because of this wick. And here's how you're going to operate the trade, guys. To ensure that you're locking in profit, what I like to do is, as soon as your take profit 1 gets hit in Bybit, you're going to take 30% of your position out. Then you're going to move your stop loss to your entry. What this does is it guarantees a winning trade for you. This guarantees a winning trade, okay? 100% now, even if you get stopped out, you're going to be in profit. And it's very important that you get into the mindset of locking in your profit, although the gains will be slower, okay? Because you're not going to have as much of a position when you come all the way down to your 3rd take profit. You will not be in a loss. And the number one thing you need to do if you want to make money trading is you need to get into the practice of not losing money and locking in your profit while you are in profit. If you take 30% of your trade out here and move your stop loss to your entry, you're guaranteed to have more money in your trading account after this trade than when you started, okay? Then what you do is, when we get to our next take profit, take another 30% out of your account. Now you only have 40% of your initial margin left in the trade. Only 40% of your initial, trade left actually on here. That's okay. Because now what you can do is you can let this thing ride. You can let this thing ride where you're guaranteed to win. You're absolutely guaranteed to win. And best case scenario, this thing keeps going down for a long time and you could turn this scalp into a swing trade. Let's say we keep coming down to the weekly. Right? Let's just say that if we keep coming down to the weekly, well, now you've got a nice 3.74% move on your hands instead of a 2.2% move, right? What if this was the top and Bitcoin keeps going down to like 11K? Well, then you could have just let this thing ride all the way down to 11K. And that's how a scalp could potentially turn into a swing trade. But the way you're going to operate is you're going to lock in that profit right away, and then you are going to move that stop loss into either your entry, or after you hit a few more take profits, you could even move your stop loss to right here. And now you're guaranteed to be in an even bigger win if you get stopped out. We'll get into this more in risk management, but this is how you're going to scalp using Market Cipher. You're just basically going to mark levels of support and resistance, look for divergences, and enter as price is losing the level. So let's take a look at a potential long setup that we could have had. Okay, right here. This was a great long because we have this level of support. It's respected as support once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Respected as resistance once, support, and now right here, what do we have? Well, we have us coming down to this level. We have a divergence. We have price printing a lower low. We have momentum printing a higher low. we have the VWAP printing a higher low, and we have the money flow curving up. Okay, all these things are pointing to the fact that we are going to come up from here, right? You want to, when you're scalping on Market Cipher, you want to make sure that you see everything pointing in the same direction, right? Not just one thing, but everything. Right here, you know, you still had this divergence. It was still a nice move, not as nice of a move as this one here, because in my opinion, the more things you can stack in your favor on Market Cipher, the better of a move you're going to have. That's just what I found by back testing. So, you know, you can just look for one thing, but if you can see all three, right, the VWAP, the money flow, and the momentum waves, you're usually going to have a better move. And the way you do this is when price loses the level and then comes back above the level, you enter. As you're coming above the level, you set your take profits at your next resistances. You set your stop loss below the last swing low. You're only risking 0.3% of your account here. So, you know, you could do 2x leverage, 3x leverage, 100% of your account, 3x leverage, and only be risking 1%. It's very important. And we set our take profits at the next resistances. So what happens in this trade? Well, we hit our take profit number one right here. We move our stop loss to our entry, okay, to ensure that we've locked in the profits, and this is a win. Boom, we lock in our profits. This is guaranteed a winning trade now. Worst case scenario, we get stopped out with more money than what we started with, okay? It's a 0.5% move. If you're using 3x leverage, right, and you have a 0.5% move, that's actually a 1.5% move, okay? So if you have, you know, let's do some mathematics here. Let's do, even if you have a small account, right, and you just have $1,000 in your account, okay? This is still a 1.5% move. You're making a nice $15. You're making a nice $15 on that, okay? That's not bad. That's really not bad. And now, because remember, if you're scalping, you're taking a lot of trades. You're taking a lot of trades for sure. So now you've locked in that $15, okay? You're taking 30% out of the trade, so you're not actually getting the full 15. You're not getting the full 15, but you're ensuring that you're not going to be in a loss. And now you're going to continue up to your next take profit, another 0.8% move where you take out another 30%. Okay, so you probably made overall maybe about 1%, okay, maybe about $10 on this whole trade. And then you get stopped out in profit. You get stopped out in profit, you wait for the next trade. You do this enough times throughout the day, I guarantee your account will compound pretty quick. And, you know, a lot of people start with more than $1,000 in their account unless they're learning. You know, it's always best if you're going to be investing money to not only learn the skill of trading, but also have the money to invest, right? Obviously, the more capital you have, the more money you can make doing this. But even if you're just starting out and you're super young and you don't have a lot of capital, you haven't had time to accumulate that capital, you can do it. If you are making, let's say, 3 or 4 trades a day, 5 trades, scalp trades a day, where you're making $10 to $15 a trade, okay? Again, let's do a little mathematics. Let's say on average you're getting $10 a trade. That's $50 a day, okay? $50 a day. Remember, every day as you're adding $50 to your account, now you're earning 1%, not on $1,000. You're earning 1% on $1,050, right? $1,050 after one day. After the second day, you're earning percent on $1,100. And I did that wrong. You get what I'm saying? So every day, the 1% that you're making is getting more and more and more. And over time, you're going to have thousands of dollars in your account. Okay, so don't be discouraged if you have a little. You got to look at this as a long-term thing, not a short-term thing. And if you have a lot of capital, you know, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to invest, then, I mean, honestly, that 1%, these little scalp trades are going to be extremely profitable for you. I mean, extremely profitable. Right now, we're getting some kind of a reaction here. This is a very strong reaction, it seems. We do have the bullish divergence on the money flow. I'm a little bit late to this entry here. I'm a little bit late to it. And I don't know if we had a level of support down here. Let's see if we did. I don't know if we did. We may have. If we did have a level of support down here, just because this is a live thing, the way we would have done this is, we would have waited for us to come up above the level. We see the divergences on the money flow, the VWAP, and the momentum waves. We set our take profits up this way. We set our stop loss below the last low right here. Okay, below the last low right here. And we did hit one take profit. So we would have taken 30% out of this trade. We move the stop loss now to the entry. So it's a guaranteed winning trade, right? And now we just wait and see what happens. What is going to happen? We're going to leave this open while we continue on looking for other trades. This was a little late in the entry, but let's see what happens here. Are we going to come back up to our daily level? Are we going to come back up to our daily level? All right, let's see other trades we could have taken here. This was a pretty nice one. This was actually a pretty nice one right here. This is the 1 minute time frame now. But if we see on the 1 minute time frame, even just this right here. Actually, honestly, guys, the 3 minute time frame, you're going to find better entries on the 3 minute time frame than you will on the 1 minute time frame. That's just my opinion here. But I mean, this was a really nice one. This was a super nice one right here. And again, the way you're going to find these guys is you are going to have to look to make sure everything is diverging. So right here and right here, you can see that we really put in a lower low. And we really put in a higher low on our momentum waves right here, right? You can see that. We've got the divergence. You can see that the VWAP is also diverging, coming up as price is coming down. And you can see that the money flow is curving up as the price is coming down in general, right? You can see very clearly the money flow coming up as price is coming down. So what we do is we wait for price. Again, maybe I wasn't clear, but when we're doing this, shorting or longing, we want price to either come below the level and then bounce right above. We want it to come right to the level and then get a bounce. Or if we're shorting, we want it to come above and then reject, or come right to it and then reject. And we always want to enter the trade after price has already begun the bounce, right? We don't want to enter as price is falling through here. We want to enter as price is bouncing back up through here. So as price is bouncing back up, we take our long position, we put it right here. We have to put the stop loss below the last swing low, which unfortunately, guys, is a 0.7% stop loss, just because that's what you have to do to avoid getting wicked out unnecessarily. And then we set our take profits along the way up. And of course, this trade was a great one. We hit 2 take profits. It was a nice move. That could have been a really nice, for us, a nice 1.5% move. Potentially even a almost a 2% move. And again, this is just a scalp on the 3 minute time frame, guys. But do you guys see the setups here? This is how we're going to do it with Market Cipher. We're going to look for divergences in all areas. The money flow, the VWAP, and the momentum waves. The money flow, the VWAP, and the momentum waves. So for scalping, okay, I like the 3 minute. You can use any minute time frame you want, but look for divergences. Look for threefold divergences. Money flow, momentum waves, VWAP. All right, these are all the 3 things that we want to see diverging. Okay, look for threefold divergences for scalping. Okay, and I like the 3 minute time frame the best. 3 or 6 minute is what I like the best. And this is something that you can, if you don't have much time to trade, you can only trade for maybe a few hours a day. These are the trades that you would really want to take. And again, we see bullish divergences here, but we wouldn't take this trade because the money flow is not diverging, right? Money flow is coming down, okay? And this wasn't a very good long anyway. We want to wait until we see everything lining up for us. Everything lining up for us. That's what we want to see. We want to see everything lining up for us. Okay, so this trade here, we're still in our trade, right? We're still in the trade. We hit take profit 1. We moved our stop loss to the entry. we're still in our trade. Pressure's off, right? You can go make yourself a sandwich. You can go out on a date. Doesn't matter. Guaranteed win. And in Bybit, you've set your sell order here. You set your sell order here, sell order here, sell order here. No worries. Everything's all good and gravy. Everything's all good and gravy. Okay, of course, in hindsight, if we scalped this on the 1 minute, on the 3 minute, would we have taken this? No, we would not have taken this because the money flow was coming down. We would not have taken this on the 3 minute. But, you know, we're scalping on different time frames. On the 1 minute, we took it, and it worked out pretty well for us, right? We did get a nice little move there. So I hope you found this helpful. Let's see if we'll pump right now. I hope you found this helpful. This is how you're really going to utilize Market Cipher in the best way possible. And as far as Market Cipher A goes, again, we're using it as reassurance, right? We're using it as reassurance. Now, Market Cipher DBSI, a new indicator from Market Cipher, right? Newer Market Cipher DBSI. Let's see if we can find it here. Right here, Market Cipher DBSI. Go ahead and click that thing on. What this will do is it will help you if you're scalping, okay? If you're scalping, it will give you bearish and bullish power, meaning if you have a candle, right, it will have two numbers, a number on the top, a number on the bottom. Whichever number is higher is winning. So if the number on the bottom is higher, that means this candle has more bullish strength than bearish strength. If the number on the top is higher, that means the candle has more bearish strength than bullish strength. So right now, on the 3 minute time frame, we have some nice assurance that this is a bullish candle. There's a lot of bull power right here, and there's less bear power right here. Of course, it's the 1 minute time frame. These things can change quickly, but it's just another reassurance that you can have while you're scalping, okay? Market Cipher A and Market Cipher DBSI are great reassurances. After you get your confirmations on Market Cipher B, you're then going to use your reassurances up here. So I hope you guys have found this Market Cipher series helpful, because really this is going to be probably, at least for now, until you progress in your trading, you know, these entries are going to be the bread and butter of your trading. They're very high probability setups, and you will find that you have a very high success rate trading this way. All right, guys, I will see y'all in the next session. God bless. God bless.